Mommy, can you tell me one of her DJ stories?
Well, let me see, darling. Okay. I remember my first DJ gig was at this old guy's yard sale. He just wanted people to be attracted by loud music, so they would come by his semi-worn out sparkly underwear, incomplete puzzles, and terrible record collection. Just between you and me, sweet biscuit. I was so afraid he might ask me to play something from his crate. I was ready with a buttload of medical claims that playing records by Uncle Poke Pond, or the Electric Colostomy Band, or Trevor and Nipples gave me the dancing colon, if you know what I mean. Luckily, he was so worried that people might be stealing his sparkle britches, he didn't have time to dictate my set list. All to say, I played all my favorite songs and I was happier than I'd ever been in my life. If you ever become a DJ, Liebling, you'll never forget the first time someone comes up and asks you, "This track is pumping. Who is this?" You'll also never forget the first time someone comes up and asks,
"Hello, when are you gonna play some good music?"
Anyway, the old guy didn't pay me in cash, but I went home with a lot of puzzle pieces, tenderly wrapped in glitterily skid-marked briefs. Then after that, I had a gig at a retirement home for veterans of the Great Scratch War of Lineberg Alley. You know, that one that ended with DJ Stinky Pinky dropped a recording of an airplane sonic booming through an audio magnifying glass, causing most soldiers on both sides to go nearly deaf. I was so nervous playing for a room full of DJs, but I ended up being not so bad. Yeah, they kept slinging applesauce through the air when they tried their turntablism on their lunch plates, but the only complaint I ever got was, "You're not loud enough." I would never hear those words ever again. Now that gig only paid me an old wrinkly diaper aromaed hugs, and there were a slew of other events that paid me creatively without cash, but I was having so much fun spinning, I kind of thought I should have been paying them. So when the owner of the fried chicken toe joint and lounge approached me about having a residency at his restaurant for pay, my brain got goosebumps. Now, at the time, I had a decent paying day job as a bug squasher at an organic farm. I never did get used to the sound of crushed exoskeletons underfoot. So when I quit, I never looked back. Darling, I was in Heavyset hog heaven at the fried chicken toe again. I played all my favorite tracks, got the diners bopping their heads as they chewed and slurped, the wait staff shaking their hips as they served, and I was told the cooks were slicing, dicing, and scratching their butts to my mad beats. Of course, not everyone liked my style. Some random patrons would on occasion request some song that wasn't even in the same genre of my set, or make some comment that they hated crap no or whatever. But they seemed like the kind of people that would be laying on the beach during perfect weather, having a drink in one hand, a fat cigar in the other, getting their toes licked by the person of their dreams, and they would still find something to write a whiny, jazzy spoken word piece about. So I just ignored their terrible requests, negative comments, and did what I thought was right. The gig also helped me spruce up my record collection because now I was justified to come up with more music. Weekly, I frequented the various record shops, the dumpsters behind superstar DJs' cribs, and even tracked the mythical creature Floor Thumper, said to eat bass guitars and old video game systems, and wash it down with chocolate milk spiked energy drinks. Then go dancing at mythical monster barn dances where it would always mac on raving chupacabra. The aroma of murdered goat's blood is said to be a kind of pheromone for floor thumpers, by the way. And right as it went in for the unsolicited kiss, it threw up all the contents of his belly, which by then had mixed themselves up in the greatest dance tracks of all time. I never found the floor thumper, but I always kept an eye open for it. Now in time, there's this young, eager kid who called himself Ultra Jukeboxbot, who asked to be my crate mate. That's DJ lingo for the guy that helps you bring in your equipment, make sure you get your drinks, and keeps the drunks and heavy-footed from bumping your turntables. And Ultra Jukeboxbot was a good kid, but he kept repeatedly saying,
I hope one day to be a great DJ like you. You're living the dream. Oh, big sister Feinessa, if you could ever help me out by putting a good word in for me, I would be so grateful.
Well, one day, I dropped my cell phone in one of those rich people's steam buns toilets that are filled with boiling water.
Ah, dang it.
Long story, and when I went to fish my phone out, I burnt my beat matching finger. So I called Ultra Jukeboxbot and said,
Hey, buddy, here's your moment. You're on the decks tonight.
My finger and pride were in pain, so I stayed home that night. The next day, I called the owner of the Fried Chicken Toe and made sure the kid performed well enough. The owner said,
Yeah, about Ultra Jukeboxbot. We've got some bad news. From now on out, we want him to be our resident DJ as opposed to you.